Hello guys and gals, welcome to the latest episode from Squad Morale Restored. My name is Daniel and today we're going to be looking at the Mythic Battles Pantheon Pandora's box. Now this, like the previous video, is a box set in sort of ancient Greek mythology type times. This particular box was an expansion only available to people who took part in the Kickstarter or people who went on eBay after the fact. It does look like they are going to be doing another re-release sometime in 2020. Not too sure exactly when. And also, quite excitingly, they're also going to do a release for, I think, Mythic Battles Ragnarok. So we're going to see the Norse gods and the frost giants and so on and so forth turning up. Anyway, back to this one. As I say, we found this one on eBay, and it's another weighty. It's another weighty box. Okay, so we'll put that over there. Right, so it comes with a little bag, little fabric bag with the logo on. Possibly put your dice in, and other such things. We have a. Oh dear. We have a. Okay. We have some damage there. Oh, and a bit more. Luckily, it's all happening off camera, except for the sound. Oh, dear me. Oh, right, it's quite deep. Right, so we'll put this box somewhere. Put that box there, I think. As you can tell, this is a rather weighty. Blimey. It's another weighty box. I do wonder how they figure out how to fit everything into these. A couple of heavy packs of cards. Hang on. Some more. There's so many cards. Wow. Okay. Put them over there. And we've got our cards. So these are, looks like the gods and heroes cards and things. Right, okay, so nothing left in that except for masses and masses of cards. Today's dog is Little Pip. You can say hello to the listeners or the watchers. No. Okay. Alright, so let's have a look inside here. I'm expecting good things in here. If the first box is anything to go by, I'm looking forward to seeing I think they've got a new range of gods and possibly a titan, and I think quite a few other like mortal warriors. Need Heracles again. Blimey. Oh god, that sounded bad. Right, so we've got 2 trays of mins. Let us. Actually, before we delve in, I'm just going to do a quick check in the box to see if there's a nice list of who we have. To save me guessing and generally making a fool of myself. And it looks like there isn't. So, fans of Greek myths, be prepared to grimace and cry as I try and probably fail to get all of these guys correct. Right, so without further ado, let us take this one, pop this off. I'm going to turn this light thingy bob down because it's a bit bright. Thank you, Jess. Yes, it is a little bit bright. Oh my god. Okay, so I'll put that over there. And I'll have this here. Okay, so I'm going to take the first tray of mins off. Ooh, they look quite interesting. Put them over there. Get the first tray back again. Oh, everybody's gone slightly disarray there. I'm sure we'll sort this out. Okay, so up first we have rather amazing look. Wow, that's an amazing looking model. So this, I'm going to go out on a limb and say is Athena. And because I can't find a list of who's in this, I'm going to have a quick look and find that I'm completely wrong. This, in fact, is Artemis. Aha, right. We have Artemis. Okay. So, first inspections it's a rather amazing looking model. Ew. Dear me. Okay. Really well designed. Nice action pose. Looking very stoic, just matter of fact. I'm about to unleash hell with my amazing bow. Okay, so this lady's special ability is she has the golden bow ability. And it's basically what it means is that it avoids like obstacles. So it makes it easy to hit basically. Okay, so very nice. Plonk you of them, good lady. Okay, so our second model is this next god, and this one is Persephone, or Percy to her friends. I'm fairly keen. I'm fairly sure that I know who this one is because the artwork matches the cards very well, which is actually a good thing across the range for Monolith games. I don't know whether they design the artwork first and then sort of produce the sculpts or vice versa, but whichever way they do it means that the images on their sort of stat cards match very closely the eventual models, which is brilliant, especially for people like myself who struggle to work out who everyone is. So first things we notice about this is we have a shapely leg poking out underneath the folds of the dress, which is really quite good because it adds to the sort of the dynamism of the pose, the otherwise static nature of the cloak, the dress would be a bit boring otherwise. And my dog's just sat on Artemis. Oh dear. Yes, the gods are having a hard time of it recently. And as we turn this lady around, her hair looks like it could do with a bit of a brush through, perhaps. But there again, with dogs sitting on them and titans running rampant, it's not that surprising when she has a hard time. Oh, we even got earrings. That's quite clever. I'm surprised the earring would have came out quite so well on these. Very good. So these models pretty much just like the gods from the first set, are round about 3.5 to 4 inches tall. So you go over there, my good lady. And let us move on to the next god in this pack, which is another lady. Oh dear, hang on a minute. Now, who could this be? We've had Persephone. This one, I'm assuming, is Aphrodite. And yes, it is. So the sultry minx, Aphrodite. Every time a player wishes to attack Aphrodite with any action or power, they must discard one Art of War card. She was a bit of a charmer, and you can see why. She's in the old seductive, sultry pose. Blimey. Okay, there's a lot of godly flesh on show. I do like these sandals, and the detail here has been reproduced very well. Okay, so one of the things with trying to cast them in this, I'm not too sure what it is. It's not like resin, it's like a PVC or something. Is sometimes the very fine detail doesn't come out all that well, or gets quite mushy. But here you can see they've done a really good job. Even onto this, I'm not sure what this is called. Like it's like a long bracelet up her arm. Actually, could be a sleeve. It looks like it could be sort of like a glove. I'm trying to get the light on it. There we go. There is some fine detail. And if we spin her around, yeah, very good. You can sort of see a mould line sort of towards the hip, but that's now out. We can easily clean that up. Does look a bit like she's stabbing herself. If I do have any sort of negatives, it does look a bit like she's stabbing herself in the side of the neck with her own blade. Maybe that's part of the charm. Hard to say. But I do like how the hair is lifted up by it. That's quite a nice little touch there. Okay. Is it just me? I think we have more gods in this set than we do in the original box, which is a bit bizarre. Because I think there are some gods in the other tray. So who else have we got? We've got... now this is a famous line for those people who enjoy their Hercules. I'm struggling to remember what the name of the line is, but these are one of Heracles' trials. Actually, I'll have a quick look. I think it begins with an N, but again, that could be totally... Yes, Nemean. Right, okay. So, a Nemean lion. Very dynamic pose. Very powerful looking animal. Do like this. Do like this quite a lot, actually. Looks like somebody's braided its mane. How cool is that? Okay, so we've got a braided mane, Nemean lion, with its little arrangement of skulls and a sword. Tiny mold line to take off behind the leg. But, yep, all in all, very good. I'm going to try and put these back in the box. Hang on a second. In the same order as I do it. Otherwise, I'll totally forget. A little tip that I've picked up is when you actually have finished painting them, if you paint something inside the box so you know who goes where. Okey-dokes. So, next. Thanks, Pip. You're upstaging me again. So, next out of the pack is this fella with his impressively sculpted helmet, but the first thing we notice is this rather distended looking grub of a snake tail. So this fella is, I think, Cecrops. Was it Cecrop? Cecrops, I think. And he's a particularly dodgy, monstery beast, sort of half man, half snake. We have a lovely sculpted spear, which is straight as a die, and they've even managed to put a little bit of sculpted detail onto the back part of it. I do like the... Wow. I don't know if you can... I'm hoping you can make the detail out on the armor. It's like a sort of a light debossing, I think it is, or an engraving on the armor itself. It barely shows up. It's very subtle, and I'm impressed they've managed to actually get that on. Yeah. Very good. Lovely dynamic pose again. If you are going to do these kind of models, you're sort of on a bit of a winner, really, because first of all, they all look very unique. Well, they all look unique. Can't be very unique. They all look unique anyway, but to sort of sculpt in extra like posing and just really show that they've spent a lot of time. But these guys kind of pull out all the stops. Okay, put him back. I'll try two. Next we have... right. We have another snaky dude. Now, I believe, let's just double check. Yep. So this is Echidna. Not to be confused with the porcupiney hedgehog beast from Down Under. I don't know why I tried to do a sort of a dodgy Australian accent there. Yes. So this is echidna, and again, it's very snaky, which is also a bit nutty. And because this model is made up of quite a few parts, there's going to be a little bit of green stuff work required to sort of blend them out. But not too bad. Yep. Really good looking model, if more than a little creepy. What's down? Okay, so let us put her back and see who else we have. Ah, right. Now, I remember these from the Ray Harryhausen Clash of the Titans, I think it was. These are the Grey. They're pretty grotesque. There's like 3 sort of hags and have one eye between them, and they take it in turns to use it. Oh, dear, hey. So quite creepy. I remembered it from my childhood. Not very nice. So the stuff of nightmares. But of course defeated by Perseus, I believe it was. Or it was in the film. Again, good looking models. Very grim. Sort of these haggard hags. Yeah. It's good to pretend the time to put a bit like detail down here, like several layers of like dress or tunic. Well, dress. Okay, so they were the Grey, with special appearance by Meg. In you go, ladies. And next we have a rather chunky snake, which I believe is the Python. I don't think it's a particular... Oh, dear me. It's quite a grim-looking beast. I do like the face, particularly. It's nice they've managed to get a bit of like a separation between the jaw and the upper part of the head. Quite a lot of detail on here as well. That's really good. Yep. And now... we've got a few areas where the model has been assembled, but really, they're pretty well hidden. Let's have a look down from the top. Oh, if we look down from the top, you can see some of the skulls and unfortunate victims that it seems to be still happily coiled around. Crikey. Yep, nice. Very good. Oh, you've managed to get its forked tongue in there. Hey. Okay, whoops. In we go, sir. Now, who could... interesting. Who could this be? So, this is another centaur. They've kept the same kind of design cues with the sort of the goatee head there from the centaurs in the other set. Wonder if we have a little card for him. I suspect this is Eurytion. Okay, so I think this chap is... hold on, I'll show you the card, and then you can tell me if you know. Yeah. I think it's Eurytion. Okay. So let's put you there, and you go back in there. We have what I thought was another snake, but I believe this is one of the dragons. So in Greek mythology, the dragons were, I think, if I'm not wrong in saying, the dragons weren't the sort of the 4-legged, 2-winged things we're used to, or the wyverns with the 2 legs and 2 wings, but sometimes there were like worms, serpent type creatures. So this is, let's have a quick look. This is the Colchidian dragon. Again, we've got a bit of green stuff work to do down there. but it's quite well hidden. So I mean, it could have been up here, but cleverly they've chosen to put it down there. So if you don't have any green stuff to hand, or blue tack and super glue, it's not that noticeable. Although it is a bit more noticeable on this side. Very interesting looking design. Sort of more like armor plated rather than just scales. And again, we have the almost fish-like tail, which is sort of reminiscent of the Hydra from the first box set. And from the front, it's got quite a cute face, actually. Yep, very good. Okay, so we're moving on. Right, now this one. Right, even I can't go wrong with this. This is a harpy. So a particularly unpleasant individual. Things that I like about this straight away is we have the two wings. One which is more outstretched and you can actually see some light through it, which I'm hoping is intentional rather than an issue with the mold. Although it is very thin because it is supposed to be like a leathery wing. So that's what the wings would look like anyway. But there's no holes in it, and the detail is remarkably well displayed. And we've got this other wing here is, as you can see better a bit from that angle, we've got it sort of more sort of curled, more closed. So we've got a closed wing and an open wing. It's a bit like, should we have gone for 2 open wings or 2 closed wings? And they think to themselves and say, oh, we. Why don't we just give them both a wing? That they might like, oh, that's interesting. Got like little wing parts coming off the backs of the legs, which would help in stability in flight. And we've got the old chicken feet. Quite reptilian, those. Actually, reptiles evolved from... No, hold on. Reptiles and birds are very similar, sharing common ancestors. So either they look like chicken feet or chicken feet look like reptile feet. You decide. Okay, and again, well captured face. Clawed hands are good. I think these little bits sticking out of the arms, yep, those are additional sort of little mini wings for maneuverability, I believe, in the air. Yeah, good looking kind of model. Okay, so in she goes. And we'll pick up a humanoid character. Now, this looks like just some kind of a priestess character. And I'm going to quick flick through the cards I have remaining. And, of course it is. This is Circe. Okay, so her special ability is that she can recall her wolves to her. So, it's a tricky little sorceress type character, I believe. I may be wrong, but focusing on the model, we have a very scantily clad lady, as a lot of them are. We have, I think that's like a Chris knife, and the folds here of the dress are again anklets. Detail on face and hair. Whoops, try and get this in focus again. There we go. Details on face and hair are remarkably good. And again, expressions, expressions. Expressions proper kind of like Greek looking faces and no. This is my version of a cheap turntable. There we go. Ooh, we have a mold line down the side, but now out of out. I'll get rid of that. No time at all. The hair, a bit more presentable than on... Now, who was it? It was one of the other goddesses. Persephone, yeah. So the hair's had a bit more care taken to it because she's worth it. Okay, so that's Circe. And then we've got another lady who needs no introduction. Is Arachne. I'll just double check that as well, actually. I'm fairly sure she is Arachne. And she is indeed Arachne. So, sort of a strong familiarity with spiders. And again, we have, as we're coming to expect, a really impressive sculpt. Reminds me a bit of a gene stealer up here. A 40k gene stealer. Hands outstretched, as in supplication. 8 limbs, so like the arachnids, they are named after. And we've got, very spidery from behind. Yeah. Very nice. Interesting stance, 1 foot slightly up. Actually, a lower body looks like it's encased in spider webs. At first I thought it was sort of like a mummy effect, but I think it's more webs. Okey-dokes. Right. So this has to be Icarus. The chap who flew too close to the sun. I wonder if there's a Daedalus character in here. Okay, so this chap straps feathery wings to himself, so he can fly like a bird, but it doesn't kind of work out for him because he flies too close to the sun. And I think the wax that holds the feathers together melts, and you can probably guess what happens to him next. Very dynamic pose, quite a lot of tension on his face. It looks like I'm assuming he's landing here rather than trying to take off. It'd be quite difficult to take off from the standing up position. Nice bit of detail work on the feathers. That's been captured really well. I wonder if you'd try to paint these all similar colours, or try and show that it's a bit of a mixed bag. You would paint different hues on them. Yeah, very nice. Okay, so we've got now this looks. Oops, come here. This chap, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is Hector, but I want to be sure, so I'm going to quickly check for you. Because there's so many, unlike the sort of boxed edition, the original edition, there's a lot more different characters in this than that. These are like, it's supposed to be like a reward for people who funded the Kickstarter originally, so they've kind of gone to town on it, which is quite nice in a way, because you'd expect they'd keep a lot of the big names, as it were, for the mainline releases. So this chap is actually somebody I've not heard of, and I'm going to say it's Aegisthus, or Aegisthus. And I'm going to, 1 second, I'm going to try and get this card on screen. And here he is. There we go. So you can sort of see what I mean about the poses and the models. They're really easy to identify when you have the cards to hand. Okay, put you over there, sir. The things I like about this is all the folds of his clothes. Like they've got, all the folds of his clothes have really got some depth in there. And the hair as well, that hair's amazing. How we've got like the sort of shaven scalp on either side, and then sort of, I was going to say like mohawk, but it's not. But it's like the long hair sort of carries down and carries down off his noggin and down his back. Yeah. Impressive looking assassin fellow there. Right. Up next, I believe this is the mighty Hector, with his like little scale mail armor and his wonky sword. That's not supposed to be wonky. Okay, so the wonky sword will need a bit of warm water to get right. And actually, it's the first model in this set that is kind of out of true, which is not bad going, actually, with these. Lovely bit of internal design, decoration on the shield, which was always appreciated. It's one of my bugbears when the sort of skimp on the interiors. Okay, and on the back, again, very nice. Okay. Interesting hairstyle. And looks like he's got a shaven. It's like it's not like a short back and sides. It's a very short back and sides. There's just a bit left on the top. Bit on the top, and everything shaven around. Okay, dogs. Okay, so the next model in our little odyssey around here is this chap. Looks to be on the north side to me. And this fella is Orion. With a... He's got a little bent sword as well. Okay, so another fella for the hot bath. Right, so turning this chap about. We've got very detailed wood pattern on his shield, which is awesome. Some woolly pelt, or wolf pelt maybe. A little bit of a mold line to clean off, but nothing too extreme. Dinky boots, which is very, it's a good lot of fun. This guy's very overdressed compared to the others. Okay, I wonder if this is a fellow that climbs up things into the cold. Or he could just be sort of sensible and the weather's not so good. Okay, dokes. Then we have an arrangement of columns and arachne spiders. Got the little eyes sculpted on. And the abdomen's suitably bulbous. The legs remind me more of a face hugger than a spider. It looks like they've got little knuckles. Interesting. Okay, I think all the spiders are identical. There we go. Right, who else have we got? So, we've got this dude with a rather stunning bow. Ah. It's made of two faces. Oh, creepy. So this chap is Eurytos. I don't recognise the name, but if anything's obvious, he must be a master bowman. Okay, so little curlicues there on the quiver, very nice detail, and the individual fletchings on the arrows stand out. Seems to have a face sticking out of his bottom part of his back, bit of his, I'm going to say backside, but you know what I mean. Okay. That's a rather stonkingly awesome bow he's got. And you can tell he's going to fire at a great distance. It looks like he's got two arrows. He's got two arrows on this. I wonder if this is a character from mythology that I just don't know. I do like the pose on this as well, because if you want to fire an arrow at somebody, you don't sort of point it straight at them because it'll go too low. So it's a sort of technically accurate position to be in. Intriguing. Okay. Right. Our next fella. Come here, my little lad. Right. Is this guy here? Now. This, whoops, is a sort of a blurry fella. So he's holding a lyre. And this is Orpheus. Of course, yes. Oh, wow. That is an impressive Greek shield. Oh, look at the detail captured on that. That is awesome. And kudos again to the miniatures designers. Wow. Sandals are good. Arm work is very nice. Yep. Yep. Good expression on the face. Reminds me of somebody, but I can't think who. Okay. Very nice, very good. Sort of a more normal looking person than some of the other hero type characters. And then we have Marcius. I think it's Marcius. Marcius. So getting in on the act of playing a tune with his pipes. Another fellow I'm not sure of. Looks a bit like a satyr. So cloven hoofed, sort of elemental kind of being from the woodlands. Yeah. Good flowing locks there. Shapely calves. Yeah. Like his little pointy ears as well. Yes, it's got a little mischievous look about him, I must admit. Yeah. Again, there's very little in the way of like mold lines. I'm surprised how rarely I'm mentioning it, to be honest. Right. Oh, who have we got here? Now, she's a bit shouty. I wonder if she's some kind of a banshee type character. In fact, of course, this is Echo. No. Whoops. At the moment, she's camouflage. There we go. So there's Echo, another tragic tale from Greek mythology. Intriguing use of the dress going sort of between her legs and billowing out the back. A little bit of sculpted work done on the feet there. So they're not just sort of like these plastic things sticking out at the bottom of her ankles. A little bit of detail on there. Expression in the face is really good. And I'm trying to get... There we go. It was very expressive features. Do like how they've got the clenched fists. Clenched fists showing a lot of forwards directed power. Yep. Okay, dogs. Now, another guy that I recognise straight away is another salutary tale from Greek mythology. And this is Sisyphus. So the chap that was cursed to basically carry rocks up to the top of a mountain. Only for them to, I think that was him, only for them to roll down. He had to go and pick the same ones up again, time and time again. I'm not entirely sure why. He's probably angered one of the gods. Zeus is usually quick to take the hoof. It's impressive rock lifting ability. I don't think I could manage that. Right. And his face is a little... I would have expected his face to have a bit more sort of creases on the forehead to show the... to show the general strain. But it's good. His legs are well done there, showing that there's a lot of tense muscle. Crikey. Yep, very strong looking calves. Okay. Now I think we have a pair of, I'm going to say these look the same. So I'm assuming these are kind of rank and file troops. I'm not too sure who these guys are. Yeah. Oh, bit of a plain shield, but there again, not named characters. That ant is unusual. Yeah, quite beefy looking chaps, these. Really good. Okay, so that is the first tray taken care of. I'm trying to get the second tray. Right, so in our second tray, now we've got quite a few similarities here. Interesting. Which we'll have a look at in a second. Okay, so we have more of the gods or titans. First up is Pan in his "Are you not entertained?" pose. That's what I like to think of this as. So, very hairy satyr type of character. That's an awesome sculpt. I've said it before, but I need to say it again. It's just really astonishing, some of these models. I do believe it's the same one or two people that actually design all of these, and their sort of innovation and just general ability really just leaves me agog. On a project this size, you'd think they'd run out of steam, but not a bit of it. Yep, so this chap's definitely about more towards the 4 inches height, and again a good character model, just even if you just want to paint them. Yeah, very good. I like the face again, a really good face. You can sort of see the teeth, and they've got a nice straight beard. So there's got the hair coming out. There's a lot going on. There's like the hair coming out the back, down the sides, beard, sort of goat hair here. Lots of different. It could be quite a challenging model actually, if you want to go to town on the like shades of browns and greys maybe. Okay, I'm putting him back. And the next one is a snake. Now this must be, I think this is the Dragon of Thebes. So again, we're going with the sort of the worm or snake thing for the dragon. Got an obvious mold line. Whoops, not mold line. An obvious join where two parts we put together. That should be fairly easy to. Yeah, that should be fairly easy to fill. Very expressive kind of face. I like the teeth at the front. Yeah, okay, matey. I think these are. There's a little teeth, but no, these are like little. Not sure what they would be called, like little tendrils dangling down. Yeah. Looking down looking down from above, following the sort of the spines, nicely raised without being, obviously raised. I've lost my ability to speak here. Okay. Alright, let's have a look. Got another god. Oh, wow. That's some. Hello, hang on. Oh, this is Hecate. Okay, so a bit like Janus. She has multiple heads, or multiple faces, rather. Wow, got snakes down the arms, and the hair is stunning. It's like really force of nature kind of pose. So you sort of picture like wind billowing and just the general strength of the character. It's hard to actually fit her all on So I would say she's probably knocking on the door more like 5 inches tall. Maybe, or the upper end of 4. Wow, there's so much, like action going on. There's everything sort of billowing and folding and creasing around. The hairs everywhere. Snakes are jumping out, trying to nibble on people in all sorts of directions. All of the head expressions are subtly different from each other. Speaking and just staring and perusing what's going on in front of them. Wow. So good. Okay. Our next god. Oh, wow, right. Armed with whip. And this. Oh, hang on. There we go. Our next god armed with whip and fairly obvious sun motif behind his head can only mean that this is Helios. And he's got a 6-pack and a half. Has he got too many bunched muscles going on the side? Crikey. Oh, a very stocky fellow. Well done sandals, very thickly strapped up. Bit of a cloak, little raggedy edge there. That's his sort of sop to the War with the Titans. Let's look. So that's interesting. The whip is actually attached at this point. I had a feeling it was like a completely loose piece because it doesn't look like it's attached. It looks like it's just curled and sort of curled and resting against his arm, but it's actually attached to his arm. So that's an interesting bit of design work from like the molding point of view. A little bit of a mold line there on his biceps. Okay. So Helios, he's being a bit rude. He's pointing. Says, "You there, over there. Stop having too much fun. I'm here to whip you into submission." Right. One of my favourite of the gods. This is Hermes, of course, the winged messenger kind of fella. And he also looks like he's holding the rod of Asclepius, which is what is known today, or associated today with healing, of course, and general medicine. Okay, so the staff with the entwined snakes. Okay, so famed in popular culture for his winged helmet, a bit like Captain America. There he is, making a big stand, standing forwards. That action pose there, hang on. There we go. Very, very strong pose. You sort of see he's looking down at the mortals and thinking, who are these wretches? Right down to his wing. But I've not seen this kind of a design for his sort of winged sandals. It's usually just like a little tiny baby wing down here, a bit like what's on his helmet, something that sort of size. But this is really good looking. Interesting take. A little bit of the old Greek knotwork there, going around the base of his tunic. And we've got a sharp, pointy scale mail. Lots of good stuff going on there. Yep. Do our low-cost turntable. There he goes. Grand. Now, we have a chap here with a rather impressive bow. So this can only be, yes, of course, this can only be Apollo. Okay, so he's about to let loose against somebody. On heroic, noble features there. Bo could do with a bit of a warm-up, maybe. Just readjust it slightly. His greaves are really... Hold on. There we go. His greaves are very well detailed, very nicely put together there. Freaky. Yep. There's a lot of thought being put into that. Even down to the... He's got even knuckles on his toes. That's something you don't see very often. Okay. They've done their pecs properly for this kind of a strain, so they're not sort of bulging like they would be if he was lifting something up. He's got his little lyre there on his side, so he can strum a little ditty when he needs to. And on the back, got a rather huge quiver for very long arrows. This looks the scabbard looks a little bit rough. I need to take a knife to that and to the bottom part of the tunic. Let's have a close look at his noggin. There we go. He's got like the laurels on his hair. A bit like a classical Alice band. Yep. Okay, and then we've got this fella here, who I don't recognise at all, and I'm wondering if this is a real kind of mythical character, he said with his tongue firmly in cheek, or a mythical character. So this apparently is Titios. Titty ye not. So it looks like some kind of a rock monstery thing, and as such, yeah, I think the chief can tell where his head is. You can sort of get the basics of his pose, how he's got his sort of crouched with his legs on the ground, and one arm in suitably heroic fashion, or evil fashion. I think it is a monster, so I would say evil fashion. It looks like it's about to either rip up the earth or take a run at you. Quite weighty as well. Okay. So, now the big fella's done. Let's have a little look at some of the smaller guys. Alright, so this is one of the... Well, we can... Whoa, come on. No. This is one of the popular skeletons that you see. If anybody remembers the Jason the Argonaut skeletons, they were a cut above when it came to special effects in the day, and still have a very interesting sort of movement and look about them now. Okay, so we've got 3 of these fellas. I've got 3 of these warriors as well. So these are very much like beastmen type characters. And the spear is attached to the horns. This part here will need, this bit here might need a little softening up just to straighten it. Again, these guys are ready for action. Yep, really nice poses. Nothing's been skipped on these guys either. Yep. Grand. We have some more skeletons, but this time these are more sword skeletons rather than armed with spears. How much of the sculpt is different, I wonder? Let's have a look. So comparing shields. So the shields are identical, which is a little bit of a shame. The only thing different is the right arm. Okay, so, yep. Nothing wrong with that at all. Well, unless you like to have some more unique type of warriors, but for this, it's absolutely fine, in my view, anyway. And at the end, we have... this must be a heroic character indeed. Ah, yes, rather a strongman pose. He seems to have a centaur on his shield. So I believe... There's double checking. This must be... I was going to say Jason. Now, is it Jason? I'm going to go out on a limb. Oops. I'm going to go out on a blurry limb and say this is Jason. But I'm not 100% certain. It's the centaur here that's sort of throwing me off. I would have thought it would have been like the golden fleece or something. Okay. Again, this sword... I'm not sure if these swords are correct for the period, but it's nice to see that it would fit in the scabbard. Games designers at Games Workshop would do well to pay attention when it comes to these kind of things. We've had 40k guns that wouldn't fit in the holster, and scabbards where the sword's too long for. But aside from that, this is not a GW bashing site. It's just what I'm doing is trying to point out the extra sort of care and attention that's gone on to these characters. Yep. Okay. We have an arrangement of archers. I think there's 6 of them. Interesting expression. I wonder if that's... No, either these guys are eyeless, which is really creepy, or it's part of their helmet design. Either way, it's quite unnerving. Yeah. So again, very good. We've got the arrows being pointed, the bow being pointed up, so it's going to actually hit somebody, because the arrows, of course, follow like a parabolic curve in flight. Yep. And fairly standard kind of warrior. We've got somebody's... what's this? Now... interesting looking expression. Is that a skull face? Looks like a skull face. Is that a helmet or a skull face? Don't think this is one of the main characters, so it looks like some kind of like a wizard perhaps. It's got a nice little bag full of balls to chuck at people. Quite fancy Maltese now. Okay. It looks like some kind of maybe a wizard or that kind of a character. Little skull there on his belt. Or is it like a bag? Nope. Definitely looks like a skull on his belt. Okay. Yeah, nicely posed model. So who else have we got? We've got 3 of them. Okay, so there we go. So they go there. Oh, we actually got 4 of them. And we're back with the hellhound. Oh, what's happened to these guys? Now, I'm thinking these are hellhounds, like from the starter set. But it looks like the face has been, like, taped. Hang on. It looks like the face has been taped up. Got the very freaky gazelle-like legs there. Sort of emaciated, yet chunky at the front. The heads give me the Wiggins. Okay, so we've got 3 of those, and then we're back to... Oh, looks like a couple of ladies. Now, this one, I'm assuming is Medea. Or is it Medea? I'm going to say Medea. I'm going to double check to make sure it is who I think it is. Yeah, Medea. Okay. So again, we've got this wearing her diaphanous robes. I wonder what this is. Fire she's got going on. I think it's like a bunch of. It's not fire. It's like a bunch of. It's not flowers either. I wonder what it is. If anyone out there knows a bit more about Medea than I do, which is, I imagine it's going to be quite a lot of people, then I suspect there's something behind this. There's something more to it than meets the eye. Right. I do like how the cloth here sort of wraps around and how they've sculpted it falling around her. The depth as well. I do like a bit of depth when it comes to any kind of design like this, with the robes particularly. They're not just sort of flat and just falling down. Interesting. Okay, and I believe I know this one straight away. This is Hippolyta, or possibly Hippolyta, but I'm going to go with Hippolyta. So she is the queen of the Amazons. Think Wonder Woman. Yeah, so we've got a proper decent shield there. That's grand, very good. Again, her legs and arms are a little bit on the thin side. I would expect them to be a bit sort of more muscular, a bit stronger looking. She is, after all, an Amazon. Okay, we'll go down to the back. That is either very skin-tight trousers or... Okay. This is... there's no detail on the back of the shield, but I suppose it is supposed to be like a fairly plain... It's not like one of the gods' shields. It's wearing high heels. Unusual. Okay. Right. With a sort of nice plume on the head. Now, I'm not sure that's supposed to be her hair. But whatever it is, it's looking really grand. Expression is quite grumpy looking. Yep. Out of all of them, I suspect this model could have done with being a little bit more, like a little bit more chunkiness, a bit more muscle. It can still be sort of like elegant like the Amazons were, but I think they needed us to be a little bit more muscly. Right, so that is the end of the second tray, and I think there's one small tray with a few left on. So let's have a quick peek so everyone find that. Okay, so here we have our third and final tray. Let's just sellotape down. I think this one mainly has some additional beasties. Blimey, they're all packed in here. Right, so starting from this end, we've got a rather sort of a basic looking wolf. There's not much going on here. A little bit of warm water to get him standing upright. A little bit lacking in detail compared to the others. So much so that the camera can't actually sound difficultly focusing on it. There we go. It's like a general pose of a beastie, but there's no... interesting. So it's almost as if it's not quite fully finished. But, yep, fair enough. And so we've got two of them, and we've got three of these proper-looking wolves. I wonder if these are some kind of hunting dog. So here we have the wolf with its little bushy tail. And I'm going to have to speed on a little bit here. So we've got this, looks like a lycanthrope of some description. It's like an armoured, stocky wolf type beast, complete with some dainty skulls and bits of quills possibly around its neck. Intriguing. I'm not too sure how much the Greek mythology had for lycanthropes. If anyone knows more than I do, I've said that too many times today, please let us know in the comments below. I'll always take the time to read whatever you guys put, and I'll try to reply every time. If you take the time to write something, I will take the time to read it and try to write back to you. Right, trying to get some of these others out. So we've got... Alright, so this is the Phoenix, I believe. Yes. So not a dainty diddly bird like in Harry Potter, but this is an impressive sort of almost vulture-y monster. So I'm coming out of the ashes, guys. Yeah, it's like a really fearsome looking adaptation of the myth. Wow. That is really impressive. So these sort of have a feathery look to them, but really the flames. It's a really very nice, really impressive. It's going to be a bit of a pain to paint, but yep, very good indeed. Then we have Perseus on Bellerophon, the Pegasus. And Pegasus, of course, I believe gets its... No, hang on. No, I think Medusa, the Gorgon, gets a head cut off, and I think this is what sprouts from the neck. Oh, a noble beast. Oh, look at the countenance on that. Nice bit of feather work. Good curve on the wing there. And Perseus himself trying to... There we go. I believe it's Perseus. I think Perseus is the chap who rides Pegasus. So he's holding on to its mane, which is a bit unfair, poo animal. Yeah. And they've even got the detail. Now, hold on. I'm going to try if I'm going to be able to get the light in there. There we go. Got some work on his belt. A little bit of detail on his legs there. And individual toes. And rarely a spear that needs a little bit of straightening. So put you there, matey, for the hot bath. We're then finishing up with the Griffin. Again, a staple of Greek mythology. Of the body of an eagle and the... Oh, no, it's not. It's the body of a lion, the head of an eagle, wings of an eagle. One of the few creatures that's just made of two parts. A lot of Greek mythology has like chimera and three beastie things. Although cockatrice. Actually, maybe I'm a bit wrong there. But a lot of Greek mythology does like its sort of mixing and matching of animal parts. Yeah. Very nice. Good looking model. Interesting to paint up. Let's have a look at his eyes. Yeah. Like how the tongue's sort of out in the sort of traditional, the sort of the natural wave it will go. It's also got like a nice ornamental collar on with little jewels dangling. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so just had a chance to have a quick look through. It is pitch black near enough outside again at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's the northeast again. So I thought this was just a standard lycanthrope, but actually it seems to be a named character called Lycaon. News to me, but I thought I'd better point that out. We also have... Now, I thought that other character was Orion, but I suspect that this is Orion. Who the other fellow is, nobody knows. Well, least of all me. So this must be Orion. A mighty person. A mighty person. So all we're left with now is Campe, the sort of scorpion... A scorpion gorgon? Yeah, interesting. An odd sort of model. I'm not sure what's supposed to be touching the ground there, unless it's just sort of for the stand. Okay. It's a little lacking in detail in the face. Oh, it's not too bad actually. Okay, some big pincers. I like the tail part as well. That's quite nice. Nicely sculpted. Okay, wouldn't like to get on the end of that stinger. And our final model, which we picked up separately, is the Titan Atlas. And here he is, slightly painted. And he is a stonkingly huge figure. Look at the size of this brute. It must be at least 6 inches, maybe 7 inches tall. Still got the chains stuck on him from the gods, but the sculpture on the face, look at the face. Got the depth in the mouth. That's a really stunning model. That is a really good model. How they've done the arms as well, that's very good anatomically. It's always a bit tricky to work out where to stick the additional arm. And this figure has been designed all the way down to his toenails. There we go. There you have it. Okay. So this fellow towers above everyone, except for maybe... Actually, no, he towers over the gods as well. Right, Moshe? You fiend! Ha! Eesh. Jeez. Anyway, so that concludes our... No, it doesn't. It nearly concludes. The other thing was we got a bit chuffed. I got a bit carried away with myself, and so this is obviously a harpy, but apparently it isn't a harpy. It is this lady here. So it's Theno the Gorgon. So Gorgons, of course, being the Medusa personage. Whoops. But to be honest, I don't think anybody would have got particularly grumpy with me about that. I hope. Right, so I hope you've enjoyed following this video on the unboxing of the Pandora's Box game. Love to hear any of your comments, as always. I will always take time to read them if you take time to write them, and I will try and reply to you. A big thank you to my current subscribers. I'm hoping to grow the channel as we go into the new year. Let me know what kind of models or miniatures you'd like me to review in the future, or if there's anything that I'm not doing that you would appreciate seeing. Okay guys, until next time, please subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell for future videos. And with that, farewell for now, and you take care of yourselves.